Right, we got another Sudoku here. This one is called Meteor Shower by Jobo. Let's get this going. Let's get these rules up. And there's not a ton of them, which is perfectly fine. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply. So every row, every column, and every 3x3 box must contain the digits 1 through 9 once each, because this is a 9x9 Sudoku. Long thermometers, digits must increase from the bulb end. So this would be the lowest digit going up until you get to whatever that happens to be. I don't know. In the tip, purple lines contain a non-repeating set of consecutive digits. Those are renban lines. So it just means that these 3 digits have to be consecutive. Doesn't matter what they are. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8. 5, 7, 8. Did I really just say that? 5, 6, 7. Welcome to counting. And they have to just be in any order. They don't have to be in that 5, 7, 8 order like I said earlier. They could be mixed up like 8, 7, 5. Anyway, it wouldn't be fun if I didn't stumble over my words, would it be? So let's get started on this one. Meteor Shower, again by Jobo. And let's see what we can do. So where is a good place to start? Well, as I cheekily said I didn't know what these numbers could be, this is a 9-cell thermometer. So clearly, the only way to do that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now we've got some other larger thermometers. Sorry. So this is what, 6 digits long. This can't start in 1, so, and it can't end in 9, so we could be 2 or 3 are the options here. And I don't think there's any conflicts, but we're going to find out when we get up top here. There is not. The same is going to apply for this one. Yeah, okay. No conflicts yet. And 7, 8. Now, do we have any? We do not. Sometimes when you have these coexisting, that's not the right word or terminology, but usually sometimes when you have parallel, there's the word, thermometers, they can sometimes create pairs that you can use. This is not one of those cases. Now, I don't know if these thermos are going to be super helpful. Let's look at one of them. So we know it's going to have to be 2, 3, 4. We can go up to 5 and 6. No, we can't go to 6, sorry. Only to 5. So actually that does something. If you look at this, because, like I said, this can't be 1. This is 5, 6, 7, 8. We can't go up to 9. So that works. So these are between 2 and 5, but look at what we've got here already. That's a quadruple of 2, 3, 4s, and 5s. So these digits, and I'm fairly certain, well, no, it doesn't look like it's going to be quite the same here, but it might be. These digits have to be from 1, 6, 7, 8, and 9, but that, I'm not going to type those in because there's a ton of options there. This one, none of these look like they have any kind of conflict, so I'm not going to type in the rest of them. Let's look at this one. It's going to be the same thing, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so this does actually work out. These are 2, 3, 4, 5. So I guess maybe the pressure it puts is on these 2 digits. Excuse me. So this could be 1. It can't be 6 because it sees that 6. It could be 7, 8, or 9. So if this is 1, these have to be 2 and 3. This would be 2. This would be 3. If that happens, that would force this to be 2. So there might be a long chain here that where something over here might interact with something over here. Because this is going to be the same situation. This could be 1, can't be 6, 7, 8, 9. Now if this is 9, this has to be 8 and 7. Let's look over here as well when we do that. So this would be 8, this would be 7. That looks like it would work, because that would just force these to be 8, 6, and 5. then not, and if it's an 8, there's too much going on here. I can't quite tell how they would interact. So let's go back to this again, just to look at it, because I wasn't quite sure how this would work. So if we got a 1 here, this is 2, and this is 3. That forces this to be 2. Right? Yeah, because that's 2, that's 3. But that doesn't tell me what any of these need to be. Okay? Is there something maybe a little simpler we can do with these? So there has to be a 1 in one of these. So one of these renbans has to have a 1. So it's either a 1, 2, or it's a 1 here. Well, that's actually interesting. This can't be a 1, can it? Let's put these in. These are all the places a 1 could be. If this was the 1, this would have to be a 2. If this was a 1, this would have to be a 2. That doesn't work, so that can't be a 1. So right now we've got a 1 and a 2. If this is a 1, this can't be a 1, because then that forces this to be a 7, 8, or 9. How do you get to 7, 8, or 9 when you've already got a 1 and you only got one more digit? You can't make this digit 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is not the 1. It's just like Neo. I'm going to say that reference like 15,000 times in my Sudoku videos, I think. But, you know, it is what it is. So that has to be 2. So we've got a 1 and a 2 now. Like I said, this can't be 1. I wonder if the same thing happens over here. Let's take a look at it real quick, because it looks like we're going to have a lot of symmetry. Now, where can the 1 go? It goes in one of these 3. If this is a 1, we have the same issue with the 7, 8, 9. So that's not 1. If this is 1, well, I said this one, I didn't show that this could be a 1, but we know this can't be a 1 because that would force this to be a 2. So one of these is a 1. So actually, it doesn't quite work out the same way. Yeah, which is interesting. Okay, that's fine. But if this was 1, this would be 2. Okay. What else do we have? We know this is 7, 8, or 9, so what's the least these can be? The very least they can go down to is 5, because if that's 7, these are 6 and 5. So these are 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. That can't be 8. That can't be 7. I don't know that that does much. Does it do anything here? Not quite. 5, 6, 7, 8, but we still have 1 outstanding. Now, if this was a 9, it would force this to be an 8 and this to be a 7. If this was a 5, it forces this to be a 6 and this to be a 7. This is a 6, it forces this to be a 5, and this breaks, so that's not 6. If this is 7, this could be 8, 9, or it could be, well, it can't go down to 6, 5. Okay, so there's something else in there I missed that I could remove from here, it wasn't there. Can this ever be a 5? The answer to that's no. Can this ever be a 6? Yes. 5, 6, 7. Can this be 8? Yes. 7, 8, 9. And can this be... Wait. I'm being stupid again. I've got to stop being stupid. Let's go back to do this again. 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not 8. I'm getting into consecutives and I'm forgetting. So, if this is 9, this has to be 8. Because if this was 8, this would have to be 7. If this is 7, this could be 6, 8, or 9. If this was 5, this would be 6, 7. Can this ever be 5? Let's go back to that. Yes, because it could be 5, 6, and 7. Excuse me. Okay, so I didn't have as much going on there because my brain just stopped working for a second. What else can I do here, though? Because we still don't quite have this down. So if this was a 7, this would be 6 and 5, and that would have to be a 9. That's not quite doing anything. Is there anything else? I don't think I can really do much with this one or this one. Okay. Now we said we don't know that this can't be a 1. Because the 1s could still be either one of those. Is there anything I can do with these 1s? I don't know that there is. Yeah, because I mean, there's not a whole lot being taken out of here at the moment. That can't be one. So one of these is a 1. It's not all that helpful, but we're gonna throw it out there. Just make sure I'm not missing anything that's obvious. Anything beyond what I've already missed that's obvious, I mean. 2. Don't think there's much here to use. Maybe I'll put these in just to see if I've got any quads going anywhere. Five, 6, 7, 8. I do here. So there has to be a 9 in here somewhere. Could be almost anywhere, obviously except for that one. I have to put a 1 in here somewhere. This can't be a 1. So the 1 is one of these 3. It's still not super helpful. Maybe if I come at it like this, this has to be either 1, 2, 3, 4, or 9. Well, it can't be 4. I don't think that really works, because if this is a 1, well, this can't ever be a 1, can it? Because then that forces this to be 7. It's not a 1. Sorry. If this is a 1, this has to be a 3. So can this ever be 2? And the answer is no, because if this is 2, this has to be 1, and this has to be 3, and that's broken, so that's not 2. So we're getting it down a little bit. If this is 3, this has to be 2, and this has to be 1. That does work. Now, if this is 9, this could never be 9. This would have to be 8, 7. I'm going to kind of type these in for now, just to see if I can see something. And it can't be 7. So is this the only options are 2 and 8? Because this is, if this is 3, this has to be 1. This has to be 2. If this is 9, this has to be 8. And this has to be 7. So this can't be 8 or 9 either. So we've got, it's either 1, 2, 3 in actually ascending order, which is interesting, or it's 9, 8, 7. What does that do for us? I don't see how that's going to give us anything right off the bat. Okay. Now I said this is a quad 2, 3, 4, 5. Wasn't going to get into these because there's nothing getting into them. So 2s can't be in here, so one of these is a 2. Seemed likely anyway. 4s can kind of be anywhere. There's nothing really, none of these high numbers really seem to be doing much. Looking again to see if there happens to be something across the board that I can use here. I'm not seeing it. Like I said, if this was 1, this would have to be 2, which is perfectly fine, right? Because if that's 1, this is 2. That forces this to be 3, and these are 4, 5. That does not work, actually. There we go. Okay, let's look at that again. If this is a 1, we know this has to be 2 because it's a renban. They have to be consecutive. Now, if this is a 2, that forces this to be a 3. So this can no longer be 2 or 3. If this is a 3, this has to be 4 and 5. And now what can we put here? Absolutely nothing. Pubka. So this can't be a 1. So this is the 1. Not going to make the reference. So these are the options for 1. Now we know 1 can't be in any of these, so one of these has to be 1. I'm not sure that's all too helpful just yet. Now, is there going to be something with the 9s, maybe? I've only got 1 9, but none of these can be 9. Nothing on a line can be 9. One of these, this one can't be 9. This one can't be 9. Let's look at that again, just to make sure I don't screw it up. None of these can be 9 because of that 9. None of these can be 9 because they are on thermos. You can only put a 9 on the tip. This can't be a 9 because it's on a bulb of thermo. This can't be 9 because we determined it elsewhere. And I hope I didn't mess that up. So we have to have a 9 on this renban. And there really is only one place you can put that 9, which is here. Because if you put it here, you'd have to put an 8 here, and that conflicts. So we've got a 9. Stop mistyping. That is an 8. Okay. Do we have anything else we can do with this 9? That 9 now makes this be a 3, so that has to be a 2 and a 1. This 3 forces this to be a 2. Get rid of that. We know there has to be a 5 in one of these two, because we've got a 3, 4, 5 triple. These are the only two places a 5 can be. We've got a 5 here, so no 5s there, so it means there and there. Not super helpful there either. What about the 8s now? Or can we continue with the 9s on anything? Maybe that's a better way to look at it. So there has to be a 9 in one of those, so none of these are 9. I'm just going to go a bit whole hog on this just to see if these 9s give me anything of value. That's really what I'm doing. I'm just marking off the ones that can't be a 9. And this probably isn't going to get me much of anything, but I thought I'd take a look. Can we do anything with the 8s is what I was getting to next. Don't see a lot there. I mean, there has to be one up here. But not much else. Let's take a look back at those 1s again. So we know none of these are 1, so there has to be a 1 in one of these. So there's no 1s in any of these. One of these has to be a 1. These are offset, though, which I don't. But if we look up here, one of these has to be a 1, and one of these has to be a 1. So we've got an X-wing, which just means that if this was a 1, it would force there to be 1 over here, so you can never have a 1 in any of these. If this was a 1, it would force the 1 to be over here, so you can never have a 1 to be here. Either case, this can never be a 1, so you're forced to put that as a 1. Now, that does what? And the answer is not a whole lot. Let's look at these 2s. Okay, one of the 2s over there. There's a 2 over in one of those 2, which is sort of interesting, but not really. Because none of these are all out. And that's all out, and that's all out. Yeah, so there's nothing, we don't have any X-wings to work with on that. Is there anything in the 3s that might be of use? Doesn't appear so. Well, or does it? That can't be a 3. One of these has to be a 3. But no, that's not really that useful. If I had a 3 down here maybe, or somewhere up in here, it might cut some things out of here. But either one of these could still be a 3. This is a 3 that forces this to be a 2, and this to be a 3 and a 4 and a 5, and that all works out. I don't really have any 4s, 5s, 6s, or 7s to work with at the moment. Can we do anything with this thermo? It's the largest one left over. So let me turn this on. It's 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, and 6, 7, 8 are the options. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There is a quintuple. And this is actually a 6, 7, 8 triple. So this is the 5. So that worked out beautifully. This is not 5 or 6. Therefore, this can never be 5. And we said we had a 6, 7, 8 here already, sorry. So this is 9, which forces this to be 8 and this to be 7. All right. No, there wasn't anything else there. right off the... I could probably go back to our 9s. Yeah, so now there's no 9s in either. So this has to be the 9. So one of these has to be a 9. None of these are 9s. We do have an exponent on 9s, so it gives us a 9 here. So once again, one of these has to be 9. So one of these two has to be a 9, and one of these two has to be a 9, which means that none of these can be a 9. And then this 9 sees that, so that is a 9. And what further information does that give me? The answer is not a ton, just yet. Just making sure I didn't miss anything. One of these has to be a 5. Well, that means one of these has to be a 6. Does that do anything? Because no matter which one of these is a 5, that forces one of these to be a 6, and it forces one of these to be a 7, and it forces one of these to be an 8. So there might be something there. I don't want to really type that in yet. We can do the 8, because that is in this box. That doesn't give us anything, because we've already knew that none of these could be an 8, because we've already got an 8 here. So, oh, I didn't see the 7 down here. Gets this 8. So now, what I just said, one of these has to be a 5. This can no longer be the 5, because it'd be 6, 7, what? Nothing. So this has to be the 5. And this is going to have to be the 6 and the 7. This is going to be 5, 4, 3, and 2. And this will be 3 and 4. And that gets us going. What do we need left in here? And up there, I guess we can look at in a second. So we need 6, 7, 8, and 9. Not great. What about up here? We got 5 has to go here. And then we've got 6 and 7 up in here, up in here, up in here. I know. Just bear with me. We need a 3. There has to be a 3 in one of those. 4 can go anywhere and 2 can go anywhere, so we can't do too much there. We need a 1 in here somewhere, nothing preventing any of that. 2's one of these. What's the last one? 6's. This can't be 6, so we know there is a 6 over here. How about in this line? We've got a 1 somewhere. Can't be there. Not anything better than that. 4's nothing stopping. 5, so we know there is a 5 over here. And that's about as good as we can do. So there's got to be something better than what I'm looking at right now. So what am I... Maybe something clicked over on these things. What is this? It can't be 4. It can't be 3, because I've got a 3 there. So this is 5, 6, 7, and 8, which makes a 7 and a 6. And that's going to get us something, right? These have to be... This has to be a 5, because that 5 sees these. These have to be from 3 and 4. And I do not know which is which. So we need a 5, so there has to be a 5 over here. This is the 5. Can I just do 5s now? Yeah, that's a 5 right there. This row now needs to have a 6 and a 9. There is nothing finishing that off just yet, sadly. These have to be 6, 7, 8, 9. Or sorry, 6, 7, and 8. 7 can't be there, but not great. I'll just type it in because I can. I already said these. No, I didn't say these. What are these? We need a 4, which can't go there or there, so this is a 4. Then we need an 8 and a 9, and that cannot be differentiated just yet. This is 6, 8, or 9, so it's really 6 or 8 because we've got a 9 down here. 6's, is there anything more we can do with the 6? Yep, now that we've got this 6 down here, we can put the 6 here and get rid of you. And what were we down to? 1 and 2 over here. Can't tell between either. Let's maybe just hit some Sudoku and see what happens. One of these has to be 9. I'm starting at 9s, obviously. One of these is... They're not really doing much for me. How about 8s? 8s, 8s, 8s. Nothing much there. 7s. Well, we've got a 7 right here. And one of these is 7, which actually gives us... I just hit Z. Why did I type Z when I wanted to do 7? I don't quite know. We've got an X-wing of 7s, which hits this one. So this is 6 and 7. So what's left on these? These have to be 7 and 8. We've got an 8 there. 7, 8. That's going to break all this out. 9, 6. This is the 7. That's the 8. That's the 6. That's the 9. That 9 gives me the 9 there. Let's get rid of you. That 9 gives me a 9 here. These are both gone. I need 6 and 8, so we've got 6 and 8. These are 1 and 2. They are not determined yet. Okay. What are these then? They have to be 3, which we got one here. So this is the 3 and the 8. Okay. These two are now given of 3 and 4, but I don't know in what positions. These are 1 and 2. We've got the 2, so this has to be 1 and 2. Okay, so we've got an X-wing and 3s again here. So this can't be a 3. 4 and 3. This is now, oh, doot. We got our 3 in the corner. This has to be a 4. This has to be a 1. 2, 1. This is now finished as a 4. This is finished as a 2. This is finished as a 1. We've got a 4 down here to give us a 3 and a 4. That forces a 3 here and a 2 here. And look at that. Puzzle is solved. Solution is correct. Awesome. Yeah, so Meteor Shower by Jobo. Lots of fun. Took me a second to get going. Had a little fumble at a couple little spots, but that's normal. You know me. Like to just throw a little intrigue into it. That's what it is. Yeah. So anyway, love the puzzle, and I love to see more of them from this creator. I'm sure they have others, but I've just not gotten to them yet. And I hope you all enjoyed the solve and enjoyed my comical run through some of these things, if you call it comical or not. Whatever. If you laughed at least once, we had some fun. So there you go. Anyway, see you all in the next one. Hope you enjoyed it. See you later.